Do, 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 do. The eyes have it. Hi, James from engVid. Today I'm going to teach you some idioms about eyes. Well, not your eyes, but how we can use the word eyes in idioms to convey certain meanings, which means to give a certain meaning. First of all, what's an idiom? An idiom is a few words or a bunch of words that are put together that may not have an obvious meaning or a clear meaning, but once you know what they are, it actually gives you a greater meaning to it. So an example is, in English, we like to say it's raining cats and dogs, which doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Cats and dogs do not fall from the sky. But when you understand it means it's a lot of rain, you're like, okay, it's raining cats and dogs. Got it. And it's because we use this shorthand for language that is full of meaning or rich with meaning to get across a greater meaning. Anyway, we're going to go to the board, but before you do, I just wanted to check out my new Star Trek look, right? Captain Kirk, we're going back to the Enterprise. 21st century. Or no, 24th century and the 21st century. Let's go to the board. So, Mr. E says the eyes have it. But on my board, you're going to notice there's nothing to do with eyes. So I'm going to read this little story to you. It's between, a little story between Mr. E and myself. And then later on, I'm going to teach you the appropriate idioms that have the word I inside of it that you can use to substitute for the blue sections. Okay? So I'm going to explain, we'll go through the story. Then we'll do the idioms. Okay? Then we'll come back here and we'll make the corrections and put in the new idioms that you've learned. Sound like fun? Well, let's go to the board. So, starting off myself. The bright color of the shirt got my attention, so I bought it. Mr. E says, well, you have always had good taste in clothing. I go, not really. The blue shirt I bought was so ugly, it hurts to look at it. And he says, do you think so? I thought I saw Keiko show a bit of romantic interest when you wore the blue shirt. He says, really? I will have to watch very carefully the next time I wear the shirt and see Keiko. Dun, 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 dun. The plot thickens. Okay. Well, I wouldn't try to deceive you. She is very interesting. There's a lot more to that woman which is not obvious. What an interesting story. It's gone from clothing to romance. And I'm about to go into idioms and just destroy all of that. Well, anyway, you're ready? Let's go to the board and look at what idioms I can use to replace the statements you've just seen. You ready? Let's go. So, time for me to actually explain all these idioms we're looking at and show you, some idioms we can use to replace the words we had up there. But before I do that, I want to give a shout out, as I keep an eye out, for Ronnie. Okay, Ronnie, it's your turn. You got to say shout out to me in the future. Anyway, see you soon, Ron. Okay, so anyway, let's go to the board. And on the board, I have 7 idioms that will replace the 7 sentences we highlighted in blue on the board earlier on. So the first one I want to talk about is caught someone's eye, or to catch someone's eye. I think I was, when you catch someone's eye, when you catch something, right, you catch it. You focus and you can catch, I think you focus, you can catch it. When you catch it, it's your sort of thing. So when something catches your eye, it literally takes your attention and catches it, right? So it's to attract someone's attention. You caught my eye, you catch my eyes. So I watch, I watch whatever it is you have. Second, to have an eye for something. To have an eye, a single eye. When you have an eye for something, it means you have a very good ability to tell what is good quality or bad quality, or what is good and what is bad. I have the best eye. I have the best eye. I have the best. Sorry, imitating someone now. Trump. So when you have a good eye for something, you can say, I have an eye for diamonds, so I know what a good diamond is. Or I have a good eye for quality in workers. I know what a good worker is. So when someone has an eye for something, they can see quality. Eyesore. Well, if you go to the gym and you work out a lot, the next day you're going to, oh, my body hurts. Not that it hurts. You say it's sore. It's not in pain from like you injured yourself and you have to go to a doctor. It's more that from overwork, it's sore. Usually the gym is a good place to get sore because then you go, I did my workouts, I feel good. Eyes sore, remember it hurts. Your eyes shouldn't really ever be sore. So if your eyes are sore, it's because something is hurting them. Usually a person or a thing that is extremely ugly. Notice I said a person, because yes, you can be that unattractive. I personally think everybody's good looking in their own way. But some people, the way they dress or act, they can become an eyesore. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. Okay, but usually we use it for things like a house can be an eyesore, bright clothing can be an eyesore, right? Your stylish hairdo from the 80s, an eyesore. Keep an eye on something. Well, right now I'm keeping an eye on you. I'm just looking at you. Yes, that's right. I look at you. Solo you. Nobody else but you. I keep this eye on you. It means to watch carefully. Because that means I can go around the room and look around and do other things, but this eye just stays on you. Okay? Keep an eye. Watch very carefully. Now, to pull the wool over someone's eyes. Oh, hopefully, look, I have a wool sweater. I am blind. I cannot see. When you pull the wool over someone's eyes, you deceive them. It means you trick them. You do not let them see the truth. So when they pull the wool over your eyes, you do not know what's going on. Okay? Oh, I missed one. I'm sorry. Some of you who kept an eye on what I was doing probably noticed, how come he went from 3 to 5? You're very smart. Let's go to number 4. To give someone the eye, when you see someone go like, that's giving you the eye. It's to show romantic interest. They like you. They give you the eye. Now I'll go over to number 7. Transformers, more than meets the eye. Remember, they're cars, they're Autobots, and the Decepticons, hiding in plain sight. There's more than meets the eye. They can change from one thing to another, but you don't know yet. And that's why we put yet here. So when something is more than meets the eye, it's like if you wait long enough, you'll see there's much more to learn or to understand if you pay attention. Cool? Well, now we've done these 7 idioms, and we've done this wonderful story. How are we going to put them together? I think we should go to the board and find out. Okay, so we've learned what the idioms are, and now we're going to go back to the original story, and we're going to put the idioms we've just worked on into the story. You ready? Let's go to the board. So originally we had, we'll read the story again, and then we'll see how we can change it up. So the bright color of the shirt got my attention, so I bought it. Well, you've always had good taste in clothing, said Mr. E. James replied, not really. The blue shirt I bought was so ugly, it hurts to look at it. Mr. E said, do you think so? I thought I saw Keiko show a little bit of romantic interest when you wore the blue shirt. James says, really? I will have to watch very carefully the next time I wear the shirt and see Keiko. And then he said, no, well, I wouldn't try to deceive you. And finally, she's very interesting. There is a lot more to that woman that is not obvious. So let me entertain you. Let's see how we can make the changes and use the first one. So in the first one, we got my attention. What do we say instead of something got my attention? I'm going to erase it because clearly we're going to change this one. Okay, so as I'm erasing and you're thinking, what do you think it is? Boom, like baseball. That's right. Caught my eye. Right? The bright color of the shirt caught my eye, so I bought it. Good. That's the first one. 1 second. There we go. What about the next sentence? Well, you've always had good taste in clothing. Always had good taste in clothing. What are we going to say? Okay, now imagine if you have a bad arm and you have a That's right. I'm going to go here and we're going to say, you have good taste. And this changes to an I. All right? You did I for. And now remember, an I for clothing in this case means good taste, or you can tell the difference between good and bad. So an I for something means you know the difference between high quality and low quality, or good and bad. All right, what about here? Not really, the blue shirt was so ugly, it hurts to look at it. Okay, you got it. You got it. Look at all this. We're going to get rid of all of this. And I'm going to ask you a question before I write it down. When you work out, if you work out and go to the gym a lot, you know, and you're like, I really work, the next day it hurts and you go, my back is what? Sore, because it hurts. So we say, eyesore. Remember, eyesore means, sore means to hurt, and eyesore means something that's so ugly it hurts to look at it. An eyesore, right? Oh, sorry. An eyesore. I'll put that there. It was an eyesore. Almost forgot. Do you think so? I thought I saw Keiko show a bit of romantic interest. What would we say? Once again, I'll give you the opportunity to think about it carefully. And what idiom did we use to say showing romantic interest? Remember giving the eye when you give someone the eye? So Keiko was like, you know. Or my favorite, when someone's bashful means like shy, and they're like, giving you the eye. Keiko was giving you the eye when she saw you with that blue shirt. When James says, really? I will have to watch very carefully the next time. Okay. What's that one going to be? Like here, do 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 do. Musical interlude. That means I'm making music for you while we wait. So, in this case, I'm going to write okay, long part. So our long sentence here happens. Okay, so really, I will have to keep an eye on what happens the next time I wear the shirt and see Keiko. Remember, I will have to, watch very carefully. Finally, I wouldn't try to deceive you. What is I wouldn't want to try to deceive you? Okay, as again, I will erase the board and you will figure out what it is. But I will give you a hint. Bah! Bah! Okay, I wouldn't try to pull a wool over your eyes. Remember, we talked about tricking you? You can think of like wolf in sheep's clothing. Huh? And now, finally, I jumped the gun there. Finally, she's very interesting. There is a lot more to that woman which is not obvious. That sentence sounds kind of crazy, because it is. I probably wouldn't say that, but we would say, and I will once again give you the opportunity to try and figure out before I get there, because you're smart. I know you could do it. You can do it. And what is that sentence we're going to write here? Yeah. wow, check that out. There is more to, well, there's more to here. Yes, there is more to here. But what I meant to write was, there's more to her. Her is Keiko, then meets the I. All right, so there is more to here because we're going to look at how we changed it and what it means here. So the bright color of the shirt caught my eye, so I bought it. Mr. E says, well, you have always had a good eye for clothing, right? James says, not really. The blue shirt I bought was an eyesore. E says, do you think so? I thought I saw Keiko giving you the eye when you wore the blue shirt. Really, said James. I will have to keep an eye on what happens the next time I wear the shirt and see Keiko. Mr. E, hey, I wouldn't try to pull the wool over your eyes. And finally, she is very interesting. There is more to her than meets the eye, this Miss Keiko. Anyway, I hope you liked how we transitioned. You notice we used I many times, but it doesn't sound like we're saying I too much because these are idiomatic phrases that are so natural that fall from our lips that when we speak, that it sounds natural and you don't feel like you're repeating yourself too much. But as always, I want to give you a bonus before we do our homework because that's the way I roll here. Bonus, keep one's eyes peeled. Some of you are going to say, what is peeled? Well, when you have a banana, what you do is this. You take the skin off like that. That's called peeling. Or if you have an apple and you take the skin off, it's called peeling. Now, how you keep your eyes peeled, I don't know. It's not like I can take my eyes out and take the skin off. But we say it as an idiom, which is to watch something carefully or someone. So keep your eyes peeled for the cops. Watch out for the cops, okay? So it means carefully watch somebody or for something. Similar to this is keep an eye out for. Now, there are kind of two ways of saying this. If you say keep your eye out for nails or something, it means watch out and be careful. The other reason you say this is usually when you hear it, if you're at a restaurant, you go, hey, keep your eye out for the waiter when he's coming. It's not keep your eyes peeled, which is like seriously look. It means be aware of and look for somebody arriving. So keep an eye out for the waiter or the salesperson. But it could also be, can you keep an eye out for a package for me? Something is arriving and I want you to pay attention. Okay? And in the public eye, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. It's kind of funny because one day I'm going to say that and people are going to go, who are these people? Time's going by. So I don't know. Justin Bieber? Yeah, that's not a good choice either. Anyway, these people are in the public eye. It means they have the attention of the public. Leaders, presidents, musicians, athletes. When they are well known to the public, we say they're in the public eye. In fact, because they're in the public eye, we can take a look at their lives in a way we wouldn't look at other people's lives. And because you're in the public eye of the spotlight, we think we have the right to look at you this way. So be careful. You don't want to be in the public eye too much because your private life becomes public property. Okay, so gave you some bonus. We did our little exercise to check. The final thing I want to do is give you some homework. In this case, what I want you to do is write a 5-sentence paragraph using 2 of the idioms at least in the paragraph. I don't want you getting overly repetitive and saying every sentence. Okay, that's not how it flows. I mean, when we do this, yes, I'm doing it on purpose to really get you to think about it or think in an English way or with an English mind, so to speak, how we would understand it when we would probably use it. But you wouldn't say I every sentence. So there would be more of a natural flow if I said something like, the bright color of the shirt caught my eye, so I bought it. And then someone said, well, you've always had good taste in clothing. And then said, yeah, but the last one I bought was an eyesore. That would be much more natural, to be honest. But we need the practice in which you know, and that's why you're doing this. But in this case, I want you to write 5 sentences, and in 2 of them, somewhere put one of these idioms, okay? And then I want you to repeat it 3 times. Because doing it once is nice, but if you can do it 3 times, and that would make you use at least 6 idioms in 3 different situations that you're writing, you probably can show that you've learned these very well. Yeah? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I got to get going. This sweater is a little bit of an eyesore, but I like it. I like it a lot. But before I go, I would like to say first off, thank you very much for watching the video. I always appreciate the audience that's out there. And I would like you to go to engVid, and that's www.ing as in English, vid as in video.com, where you can do the quiz that's related to this. Don't forget to subscribe. There's somewhere around here, there's a bell. You can ring my bell, and you'll get the latest videos that I do come right to your laptop, phone, PC, whatever you're using. Anyway, it's always been a pleasure. I want you to keep an eye out for my next video. All right? See you.